heard you follow me through that section over there. I was like, pretty good, man. I'm 10 West Moto. Let's go have some fun. I'll definitely do it again. Here we are again. You hear that dramatic music? Listen to that. We're back here at Slades Park. I hate to put kind of a damper on Slades Park. You guys know how I feel about it from my previous video about this place, but I wanted to come back out here. It just rained a whole lot. I wanted to kind of see how the trails were coming along, see how the four-wheeler guys tore them up, and try my hardest to avoid all of the ruts and all of the deep divots and whatever else they tore up out here, because all that's going to do is make you a better rider, honestly. Now, I did come out here. I spent probably about 4 hours out here riding around. I wanted to check the trail markers. I wanted to have a lot to talk to you guys about, but really, not a whole lot going on out here as far as things to complain about. You know, it's the typical Slades Park. Trail markers are still there. The new trails are actually making a lot of improvement on. They're making progress on them. This is part of one of the new trails. They added about, I don't know, maybe 50 to 100 feet to it since I was out here the last time, which, considering that nobody's really out here working on these things and a lot of people just come out here and tear them up, that's impressive. I'm looking forward to figuring out where these trails are going to lead, because some of them kind of dead end and you got to like do a little stop, turn around type deal. Kind of a pain, but it's a lot of fun, and they're making progress. You can't complain about that. Now, the first time I was coming through this trail, I heard this four-stroke behind me. I couldn't tell where he was at. I couldn't really see him, but I could hear him. So I decided I was going to try and push it to see if he could keep up, you know, what kind of experience this guy has compared to mine, considering I'm on a completely different bike. I have some experience at Slades Park, some experience racing through the trails, you know, doing the single track stuff. As all of you know, racing in a VCHSS and all that stuff, you're going to get better over time. It's just a matter of time, and your comfort zone, and you know, all that other stuff that comes with it. So, came to the trails. We ended up meeting back at the trucks because he parked next to me, and started talking, and decided that we were going to hit the trails up together. He's coming off of a mountain bike. He just bought a DRZ 400. Now, if y'all have seen my other videos, you know I'm racing and all that, so I don't have to explain to you the experience or anything I have, because you already know. But one thing that we always have to do when we get out here at Slades Park is we gotta find that magic circle. We gotta race around it like an idiot a couple of times, just so we can make sure we're still having a little bit of fun. The four-stroke that was following me through the woods and the trails turns out to be this guy, James.
I heard you follow me through that section over there. I was like, huh, he's keeping up pretty good.
We stopped, talked a little bit. He's fairly new to riding dirt bikes. He's just coming off a mountain bike, which is awesome. Mountain bikes are nuts. I don't know how these guys do that stuff. So we decided we were going to go, tear up the trails together and check out the mud spots and see what we can come up with, since he's on a DRZ 400. I'm on a YZ250, two-stroke, four-stroke, big bike, not so big bike, torquey, not torquey. You guys know the difference if you're into riding these things or working on them or any of that nature. Now, one thing that I did try on this ride, I bought an extra camera. It's a cheap Chinese knockoff. I have it on the back of my helmet as like a rear-facing camera, mainly for the races and everything. But I wanted to try it out and make sure I got the angles right and all that. On this ride, this is the first ride with it, and the angle actually had, I thought it would have the same viewpoint as my GoPro. Unfortunately, it does not. So it's a little more finicky, it's a little more closed viewpoint, I guess. So I have to mess with the angle a little bit more. I personally think it's a good idea, instead of a 360 camera, to have a front and rear view, especially during a race and these rides. If we're getting together with the Gray Bush Motor Squad guys, we can have some rides together and I can get some front angles, some rear angles, passing them, passing me passing them, and kind of just having a good time. Now, considering how I did at Blue Ridge 2, I really wanted to focus on technique. I didn't want to focus on speed and going fast and getting through all that stuff, because that will actually come, with time, especially when you're racing in the mountains and it's a completely different terrain than you're actually used to riding on, like I'm here. A lot of the stuff is just flats and roots and sand. There's pretty much no rocks, there's no hills or anything like that. So it's kind of tough to practice on hill climbs and going over large rocks and figuring out how to slide around them or through them or over them or all of that. So I wanted to kind of slow it down a little bit, not really push through to see how fast I could get through it, but to see if I can be a little more technical going through this stuff, walking around with some of the other guys, the faster guys that race in the BCHSS with me, and figuring out what lines they're actually taking, considering the lines that I'm taking, and doing a comparison of those, because you don't naturally see this stuff. You have to train your brain basically to see it, or at least in my case. So walking through with them and seeing different lines and focusing on that, it makes a huge impact on your time in the laps. You can cut off a couple minutes of your lap times in these long, 8 to 10 mile laps, just by taking different lines here and there to cut off 5 or 10 feet. Believe it or not, it works. Another downfall about coming through Slades Park trails, basically, besides all the other stuff I mentioned, the four-wheelers and the ruts and all of that, BS, it's when you get into the trailers and you're getting deeper into the woods, you really don't know what direction people are coming and going from, because nobody's going to follow the markers. Like I said in the previous videos, no marshals out here, nobody's really in it to win it, they're just out here to kind of race around and have a good time. So when you come into intersections and stuff, you gotta watch and listen and pay attention. If you don't, you could really get hurt and injured, and nobody's gonna know. If both of you guys collide, you're injured, you're both laying there unconscious, ain't nobody gonna know. It's one of the things I really hope I'm not the only guy that thinks about while we're out here riding on these bikes or on the quads, four-wheelers, ATVs, whatever. I hope a majority of people are considering these things. coming up is September 9th, 2018. We have Peninsula Race here in Spring Grove from the BCHSS. I'm really excited about that. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome race. I will make sure I have the rear facing camera on here. I'll have the angle right so you guys can see it. I can cut it up and make some really good videos out of it. Hopefully capture a lot of really good stuff. And then I'm definitely going to make September 23rd, which is the knockdown hare scramble at Charlotte Courthouse. There's a couple more races I'm kind of on the fence about just because they're 5-6 hours away. And then the closing race, October 28th at Pipsico, here in Spring Grove. 100% I will be there because it's the closing race of the season. Just kind of an update for you guys. Want to keep you in the loop of everything.
Really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm 10 West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.